What's up, y'all? This is G-Owens, chopping it up with G-Owens, episode 3. Let's get into it with the quickness. We're gonna go over the month of March. A lot of things happened in March. I'm gonna start it off again with my Twitter feed. If you don't follow me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me. You can follow me at Guy Owens. All right, let's get into it. So, one of the first things that happened in March, I know that I saw on there that Nicki Minaj's husband got arrested for not registering as a sex offender. I just thought that was crazy, especially with like the beef she was having with Meek Mill, and she was all on Twitter for that, of course, and people were kind of judging, who was winning that exchange. It's unfortunate. I don't know what the dude got locked up for and why he needs to register as a sex offender, but, that's definitely an L. So that was just crazy. People were going crazy on that. On Twitter, of course, we got to talk about the coronavirus. That's huge right now. Help everybody out there staying safe. What I'm saying? Washing your hands, staying inside if you're sick. Really, everybody's pretty much staying inside at this point. So we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit. One thing that I did think was funny, because, I still like to try and find humor when I can find humor. But one thing that was funny was, they were trying to shut down the beaches, or they were talking about shutting down the beaches like in Florida and telling, college students and stuff like that they shouldn't go out there for spring break. But, of course, once spring break hit, they were all out there doing their thing, still mixing and mingling. So, I thought that was just funny that they even thought that they could actually make that happen. But that was one thing that, I did find funny. Obviously it's a pandemic. It's not really a laughing matter. But, in the age that we live in now, everything's a meme. Everything's a joke pretty much. So that's what we're seeing online for the most part. Trump's doing like these pretty much every day almost, pretty much he's doing like a speech, or he's addressing the media, answering questions, things like that. I just thought it was really kind of like unfortunate. One of the meetings, one of the reporters asked him, for some words for the Americans that may feel like uneasy or scared, and he just basically lashed out on the reporter, and I just thought that was horrible. I thought that wasn't a really good display of like maturity, and it wasn't what we needed at this time as a country. Especially at this time right now, it's just crazy. I don't want to be political on this show, but with everything that's going on, we're gonna have to talk about some of the politics that have to do with it. There was one thing on Twitter that was trending for a while, was Trump had said something like along the lines of, people are dying that have never died before. And he was just getting a lot of flack for that. I thought it was pretty hilarious. Obviously, if you die, you've never died before. So it's just a stupid thing to say, but, everything's going to be scrutinized at this point, you know what I mean? The dude, he just needs to kind of get his words together. If he needs to get writers, I don't know what he needs to do, but, this is a time where we need someone who's actually articulate and actually can kind of help set us at ease. But that's why it was funny, it was trending on Twitter, so I was definitely all over that. With this quarantine too, like they've been doing like a lot of stay-at-home orders. Some people are actually on lockdown, like in California and New York. Here in Arizona, we're not on lockdown per se. Doug Ducey, he did like a stay-at-home order, but it wasn't really like as extreme as a lot of other places. So, I wouldn't say that people are really taking it that serious out here, but, if you go outside right now, the streets are definitely dead compared to how they were. So, that's what's going on. And with everybody being in the house, Obviously, we're all looking for entertainment, looking for stuff to do. You know, we're all on our phone most of the time anyway. I know I am. And, you know, if I wasn't on Twitter, I was on Instagram. Now, a lot of things I'll see will be trending on Twitter. So I'll just like check out Twitter, it'll start trending, and I'm like, all right, let me see what's cracking over here on Instagram. So one of the things is like, people were talking about Lil Boosie again, you know what I mean? So I follow him on Instagram. I think I just checked out one of his Instagram lives. This is like one of the first Instagram lives I checked out. And no, actually, you know what? What I saw is him addressing the whole Dwyane Wade thing again. So he was just talking about, you know, how he felt about Dwyane Wade's son coming out as a female. And he was just really reiterating, like, kind of his point about it and saying that, you know, he doesn't have any problem with gay people and stuff like that. He just thought that he or she was too young to make that decision, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he was making a couple comments saying that, like, you know, when I was 12, I didn't know if I wanted to go to McDonald's or Dillard's, or he said something like that, which was like, I mean, there's truth to it. It's kind of funny, but again, you know, he should worry more about taking care of his own family. You know, I'm sure Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union are doing a good job. They're doing the best they can as parents. But, you know, again, that doesn't stop him from having an opinion, and I think that's fine. But anyway, that's what I saw first. So then I'm like, all right, let me check out Lil Boosie's Instagram Live. So I get on Lil Boosie's Instagram Live, and man, I kid you not, this dude has some chicks, 2 lesbian chicks, or maybe they were bi, but they were like eating box on Instagram Live. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like right at around the same time too, I don't know if you guys follow Freddie Gibbs on Instagram, but Freddie Gibbs has like some of the funniest live stories you'll ever see. So like if you follow Freddie Gibbs on Instagram, like you look at his stories and you'll just die. Like super funny. But anyway, at the same time, they had just Instagram, I guess, had sent Freddie Gibbs like this message saying they were going to ban his account because he posts inappropriate stuff, right? And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm looking at Boosie's Instagram Live, and this dude got 2 chicks eating box on Instagram Live. But, you know, Freddie Gibbs doesn't do anything close to that, but for some reason he was going to get banned. But, I mean, if I found out later that, you know, I don't think he got banned or anything like that because he's still posting his stories. So if you don't follow him on Instagram, I would definitely follow him and check out his stories. They're hilarious. But as far as the live movement, right, it didn't stop there. A bunch of people were going live. One of the other first things I saw was like Sway Lee. Sway Lee, he was doing a live concert. Man, I think it was like maybe like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning as far as like West Coast time. And I'm just like chilling, you know, looking at my phone. And then on Twitter, they're talking about, oh, Sway Lee's over here stage diving, right? This is like one of the first Instagram Live things I saw, and one of the first Instagram Live things that was like jumping off. So Sway Lee's in his studio, right? And no one's in there, obviously, because he's in quarantine, but he's performing his songs live, and he's acting like the people watching his live are in the crowd, like he's at an actual concert. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to stage dive. This dude jumps off his desk, jumps onto the floor, starts like scooting across the floor like he's stage diving and doing like crowd surfing. I just thought it was hilarious. It was like one of the most like lit moments as far as like Instagram Live when it first kicked off. You know, he did that. He did this one thing where he like invited someone from the actual viewing audience. He invited them onto his live and act like he was pulling them up on stage. So he's just like, yeah, you know, post a red phone post a red phone emoji, and I'm gonna pull you up on stage. So you got this little kid put him up on stage or put him up on live, and then act like he was on stage with them. I just thought it was really creative and it was super funny. It was super fun too, you know, especially with people not being able to go out, check out shows and do stuff like that. He still kind of brought that element, and it definitely was worthy of trending. You know what I'm saying? So. Super funny. There's still videos up if you guys haven't seen it. of Sway Lee doing that. Um, One other thing, as far as live, Instagram live, Erica Badu was first talking about, yeah, I'm gonna go live with my band inside my house in my studio. We're gonna play some music. So of course, everyone's getting excited. I'm like, yeah, I want to check this out too. You know what I'm saying? Mandy's like, yeah, I definitely want to check this out. So like, she's saying, yeah, I'm gonna go live on Instagram. I'm gonna tell you when, but she doesn't really give you any details, right? And we're like, when is this gonna happen? And we keep watching. She's like, yeah, I'm going live on this date. It's gonna be on Instagram. Then she says, actually, go follow me on Facebook to see when I'm gonna go live. So we go look on Facebook, and then her Facebook says something along the lines of, yeah, you got to go look on Twitter. Then you go on Twitter to see if she's going live. So it's just like a wild goose chase. And then on Twitter, she's like, people are talking about, yeah, you're gonna have to get TikTok. And people that listen to Erykah Badu, a lot of them don't even know what TikTok is. So they was like, damn, I gotta download TikTok. I gotta get my my son, my daughter to show me what TikTok is and download. Like, this is crazy, you know what I'm saying? That was going on for like a week. And then like finally she did her live performance, but it was literally at 12 o'clock or 12 a.m. West Coast time, you know what I mean? So, of course, most people were asleep. I was asleep during it because I didn't even see the announcement. But I did wake up around 1 o'clock that day, 1 a.m., and I checked my phone, and I saw that she did her concert at 12. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it was on a Monday, too, I think. So nobody was, I mean, there were people up watching it, of course, but it wasn't a huge audience, you know what I mean? And I was just looking at the comments on that. She did it on like her website. She has this website where she did it. And people were just trolling that whole night. Pretty entertaining though. I think she's still doing more of those. So if you like Erykah Badu, that's definitely something to check out. And then some of the more stuff that's even more popular, I know on Instagram Live, D Nice was DJing. So I know that blew up. He had like everybody there. Most people should know D Nice is definitely a huge DJ, so it's not surprising that he had so many people checking out his live stream. And then one other live thing that I'll just talk about real quick was the Timberland versus Swizz Beatz kind of, not really beat battle, I would say it's more of like a catalog battle, but they did that on Instagram Live. That took off, and now they're doing a bunch of those. But that was really cool, man. I mean, the first one with Timbo and Swizz Beatz, it was just out of nowhere, at least for me, because I didn't see that they were going to do it. Once they started doing it, I was like, yo, this is really dope. My opinion on who won, who lost, I definitely think Timberland won. He just has too much range, you know what I mean? And Swizz Beatz, he's really dope. One of my friends was like, yeah, Swizz Beatz is dope. His beats all sound the same, but when he has a hit or when one goes, it goes. You know what I mean? And it's true. When he definitely has some bangers, but Timberland can start playing stuff from like Aaliyah, Missy, all that type of stuff. He has the whole Jay-Z catalog when they need to play rap. So it was just like, I definitely thought Timberland won that exchange, but I think it was just a win for the culture overall. It was just a really dope idea, and if you guys have been watching that, they're doing a lot more of those, which I'll definitely talk about next month. But yeah, man, that's what's been going on as far as like Twitter, social media, what I've been checking out over the month of March. And then let's get into some like TV. So that's another thing that a lot of people need something to do, so we're just streaming different shows, different movies. So I talk about this in every episode, so let's get into it. One thing that I did watch was the last season of Snowfall. It was on Hulu. Snowfall is definitely one of my favorite shows, hands down. I talked a little bit about it last month, but this was like the final season. I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't watched it, but yo, that show is really dope. The way it ended is like there's definitely going to be another season. You know, a lot of shows they can towards the end of the season or towards the end of the series, they can start kind of getting just ridiculous or like going overboard with trying to keep you interested. You know what I mean? So I saw there was a little bit of that happening, but overall, it's still a really good show, and I would definitely check out the next season once it comes out. Um, Another dope show that I've been watching and I talked about was Good Girls. So Good Girls, I didn't know that they were actually doing a third season. I think that's what it is now. We've been watching all those shows. We watch it on Hulu. It comes out every week, so it's not like my first experience when I watched Good Girls, when I just watched the whole first season all together because it was on Netflix. But it's still a really dope show. Not as dope as Snowfall, but hey, we ain't got nothing but time right now, so I would definitely watch Good Girls if you've never seen it. It's a funny show. You know, some would describe it as like a chick show almost, but you know, I thought it was funny too, so I would at least give it a try. Check it out. There's a show with Lil Dicky. Let me look this up real quick because I want to get the name right. I think it's Dave. Yeah, it's called Dave. The show with Lil Dicky called Dave. I've been checking that out. I don't know how I feel about that show too much. It's, you know, it has its funny moments. It's pretty much about Lil Dicky, and it's about his career. You know, I don't know how much of it is fiction. I think it's kind of like, you could say it's based on a true story, kind of based on his story. So there's a lot of funny stuff in it. You know, if you don't know who Lil Dicky is, he's a rapper, a Jewish rapper. He's kind of comedic, basically. So the show is like a comedy, and it has to do with like hip hop music. So there's definitely some things in there I could relate to that are cool, but some of it is just a little kind of slapstick. So if you're into that type of comedy, I would definitely check it out. One thing that everybody, of course, has been talking about is Tiger King. I actually watched that before it was going viral. So, like, I was just chilling in the bed one day, and I was just like, man, I'm just going to watch some TV, turn on Netflix. Tiger King is on there. I'm like, why not? Let me just check it out. I started watching it, man. I kid you not, I watched that whole season. Watched that whole season that night. I wouldn't say it's like good TV, but it's super interesting. It's this crazy documentary about this dude who basically had his own like zoo, and he was you know, he would have like tigers there, so tigers and all kind of other exotic animals. His name was Joe Exotic. And how they kind of started out, and you'll even see it like in the trailers, basically the dude's in jail and he's being accused of like putting a hit out on this lady that wanted to end his kind of zoo career, I guess you can say. Or she was like an animal activist, and she was trying to, you know, save the tigers from Joe, while bringing them over to her little tiger zoo almost, basically. That's kind of what I got from it. I don't know. It's just crazy. There's so many things that happen in there. I don't want to do any kind of like spoiler alert, or what the hell am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say any spoilers, but check it out if you got a chance, man. It's hilarious. It's definitely a time suck though. You know what I mean? So like, it's funny. It's cool to watch. Like I said, right now you ain't got nothing but time anyway. So you know, check it out, but don't be expecting to get anything like anything out of it. You know what I mean? Anything of substance, that is. The last thing, you know, I've checked out other shows here and there, nothing really worth watching, but the last season of, or well, the most recent season of Ozarks came out. So I don't know if you guys ever seen Ozarks on Netflix. If you haven't seen Ozarks, I would definitely check that out. Start watching it now. Third season just came out. Third season was dope. It does have a little bit of the stuff I was talking about where they're just trying to keep your attention, so they're just stuff just keeps happening and happening and happening and happening, and it keeps happening like that until the last episode. And even on the last episode, they kind of leave you with a cliffhanger. So there's definitely going to be more seasons of Ozarks, but that's another TV show to stream if you haven't seen it. Straight up. Music. So we'll talk about some music real quick that came out. Jadakiss dropped the album. I really thought that album was dope, personally. Some people didn't like it. They thought it was maybe too soft, is what like some of the comments I've heard about it, or some of the critiques. As far as like the production, it wasn't like gritty street Jadakiss. But actually, I enjoyed the production. I thought it was dope. I really liked the 2 Chainz feature on there. I thought 2 Chainz really showed out with his verse. There were some really good songs on there, and it was really kind of nostalgic. So I really liked the Jadakiss album. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. I think the album was about one of his friends that died. I want to say Ice Pick J. So one of his homies that passed away, he dedicated it to him. And it's just a really good project, so I would definitely check it out if you're into hip-hop. One big thing that came out, or at least a lot of people in my circle was talking about it, was Electronica finally came out with an album. If you want to call it an album, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it, you know what I'm saying? Basically, he came out with a project. Pretty much half of the project had Jay-Z on it, so Jay-Z's rapping on about half of the project. So I can't really say that it was really a Jay Electronica album, or that I got to get, what I wanted from Jay Electronica, because, there's a lot of hype around his name. He's definitely got some really dope tracks that he's dropped over the years, but waiting 10 years for that project, to me, wasn't really worth it. You know what I mean? I still want to hear just a Jay Electronica album. If you haven't checked it out, take a listen to it. Let me know what you think about it. But again, it was Jay-Z all over it. Jay-Z, of course, is, one of the dopest MCs of our time. So just having him and then Jay Electronica on the production for the most part too, and then Jay Electronica's verses not really being, I would say, up to par with like Hove. I don't know, man. Wasn't my favorite album. I honestly haven't even gone back to it since I listened to it. So yeah, you guys, I'm sure you have your own opinion on it. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. Jay Electronica. A couple other albums that dropped. I was really kind of looking forward to, The Weeknd and Party Next Door dropping. I really like both of those artists. I think there is an interesting dynamic where, they both were doing writing for Drake. Of course, The Weeknd no longer works with Drake. He kind of branched off, did his own thing. He's very successful. The Weeknd's a huge, huge artist, you know what I mean? So really comparing the two artists, The Weeknd and P&D, they're not really the same, but people still do it. And, I do entertain that they may have some sort of beef, which I think is kind of cool, actually. It's funny for the most part. And, so, even, leading up to these album releases, people were saying, oh, well, Party announced that he's going to drop his album soon, so then Weeknd comes out with a single, the next day or the next week, right? So people are saying that all of this is calculated. And then Party says, I'm dropping my album this month, and then The Weeknd says, I'm dropping my album this month, right? So you're kind of looking and waiting for who's going to drop what's going to happen. The Weeknd released his album. I mean, the album was dope, you know what I mean? It was very pop, in my opinion. There'll be a few songs that I would go back to, but it's not really, I don't know, man. I'd have to be, in a specific type of mood to really get on that level, you know what I mean? Because it's really straight pop, almost 80s sounds, some dance records. Maybe if I was, drinking or hanging out with with family, because everyone knows who everyone knows who The Weeknd is. So I would play that in the background, something like that. So it was a good album, but it wasn't it for me. It wasn't my favorite Weeknd album, that's for sure. And then after that, P&D dropped his album. Now, the singles that he had before the album, I mean, I liked them, you know what I mean? I wasn't like super crazy about them, but I didn't dislike them either. Same thing with The Weeknd, though. The Weeknd, his singles were actually fire, though. But P&D, his singles, they were cool, but when I listened to them with the album, I thought they all fit really well, and the album was really dope to me, you know what I mean? I've heard that people are saying the album's booty, and some people think the album's really good. I personally think the album's really dope. There's some really dope songs on there. And I think the reason for that is I just really like R&B a lot. So I just thought that album was just more R&B than The Weeknd's album. And, that's more of my vibe. Like, I would actually just throw that on in the car and drive to work. The Weeknd, again, it would just have to be I'd have to be in a certain mood. But anyway, I would definitely check those projects out. I'm sure there's a lot of other projects out that I'm missing. But those are the main ones that dropped that I checked out. So, if there's some other projects that I should know about that dropped in March, let me know. Put that in the comments. And I'll definitely check them out. Let you know what I think about them. So, lastly, I just want to talk about a couple restaurants. Again, this is Panda and the Peacock Reviews. Shee! If y'all didn't know, Mandy is Panda on the Peacock. You dig? We're just going to talk about a few restaurants real quick. I'm just going to keep it Thai themed. I really like Thai food, so I'm just going to talk about 3 restaurants real quick. Right now, definitely, if you have some favorite restaurants that you go to, make sure you're supporting them. Most restaurants are still doing takeout, so I would definitely, at least do pickup, do takeout. Try to keep them alive, keep them afloat. So first restaurant I just want to talk about, it's called Thai Recipe Bistro. All right, that's right over here on 7th Street. I basically live on 7th Street and Indian School, so it's right down the street. This spot is dope, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's like high-end Thai food, but it's not. It's not like a hole in the wall either. The interior's nice. They have a lot of different food, or a lot of different menu items. So that can be kind of overwhelming if you've never eaten at a Thai spot before. But, typically I'll get like a curry. I've gotten their Penang curry, which I really like. And then the last time I went, I got their peanut curry, which I thought was fire, man. Because I'm from the Bay Area, and I used to have this curry from the Bay that I used to get, and I couldn't find a curry that tasted like that. So this spot over here on 7th Street, that's called Thai Recipe Bistro. Once again, if you're in Phoenix, try that out, man. It's fire. Mandy, she always gets the pad thai because she likes to get the noodles. You know what I'm saying? She's vegan, so she doesn't get like egg and stuff like in there. She'll just get the noodles with tofu. I tasted it. It's good too, man. It's really good. So that's a spot I would definitely check out. Again, Thai Recipe Bistro. So hit them up if you ever get a chance. Support them. Make sure they stay afloat. I should probably stop saying that because there's a restaurant in here that I do not like. But anyway. So the other Thai restaurant that we go to a lot is called Gleben. A couple friends of mine, they actually introduced us to this spot. This is like, so it's like it's in a small house, so it's not that big of a restaurant, but it's definitely very good. I would consider it pretty much high-end Thai food. It's kind of pricey, so if you go there, just expect to spend a little bit of money. But their drinks are really good, and the food's really bomb. They always have a special, right? So, like, every time you go in there, they're going to have some sort of special that's just for that night. Right now, of course, that's not going on, but we can still get takeout. You can still get takeout from there. We got takeout. They actually sell you their drinks. So the drinks from the menu, they sell it to you in a bottle. Take it home, put it on some ice, so you got the drinks, and then you can get the food from there as well. But that spot is really, really good. If you ever get a chance to check it out, again, it's called Gleben. That's one of my favorite Thai spots I've ever been to. So hands down, best Thai spot in my opinion right now in Arizona. So check it out if you never have. It's on Osborne, called Gleben once again. The last spot I'll review real quick is it's called Red Thai Southeast Asian Kitchen. All right, so this spot is kind of like a little bit up north, Phoenix. So basically, this restaurant, right, it's right next door to this spot where they do, I think it's called shabu, the Japanese shabu, where basically, they'll give you a bunch of meat, you put it in the boiling soup or whatever, and you eat it like that. So that's next door, but next to that is a Thai spot called Red Thai Southeast Asian Kitchen. Now, I personally do not recommend the Thai spot. The shabu spot was dope, it was good, but the Thai spot, I just was not feeling the food at all. The menu items were limited. The food didn't taste authentic. If you're looking for that style at least, then I definitely wouldn't go to that spot. So that spot does not get a high rating from me. Mandy didn't really like her food there either. I think she got the pad thai there as well. But even like taking things out, substituting things, they weren't really like accommodating when it came to that. So it's just not a spot that I would recommend. But again, next door there is a dope shabu shop. Hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, next door there's a shop right next door. It's kind of crazy because it's in the same building. I want to say this is the same owner that owns both spots. But anyway, those are the spots that we've been to. We've been to a lot of other Thai spots, but those are the spots that we frequent at the moment. So check out the first two. I wouldn't recommend the last one, but again, check it out. Formulate your own opinion. You feel me? But again, this is G-Owens, Chopping It Up, episode 3. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to post this up on YouTube. Still working out some kinks. I know I got this switched over a little bit, so I think the angle's a little bit better. Not sure about the sound. So, again, let me know how I can make this better in the comments. Stay safe out there, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.